What's up, guys? Neko here from Hawaii team, and today I'm going to show you a deck profile from Oracle Think Tank Bell's Sister that I am been testing for 1 week. Yep, for 1 week. So I would say this first though. Every deck has this playstyle that everybody has. So if my build doesn't suit you guys, that's fine. But this deck was made for me. So if I say consistent, that means it's more consistent than me. You can change any cards in the deck, whatever you like, or you can build a different build. It depends, but I'm gonna share you my deck profile. So we're gonna start off with a starter. So the starter will be Battle Sister Waffle. Waffle ability is Counterblast 1. Put this card in the soul, and you can check top 3 in the top deck and choose one that has a Battle Sister name and Superior Call it in the rear guard. And that unit gains 2k for the turn. So why I run this instead of Eclair, because Waffle will give you more the rear guard more power. So that means that even though it's not a great power, just 2000, but sometimes it can make the units a magic number. So Waffle is good, but you can change to Eclair if you're playing Monica or something. If something like that. I don't use Monica's skill that much, so it's up to you guys if you want to play Eclair or Waffle. I prefer Waffle. Next we play 4 Monicas. Monicas, surely people will ask me why you play Waffle if you play Monica. Well, the reason behind that is Eclair, surely she searched for a grade 3, but my winning image or my type of style isn't using Monica. I use Monica instead of Fromage because she has a better power that is 11k to protect herself, and you don't have to guard for 15k if it's 20k, because 10k Vanguard sometimes screw around with that, and 11k makes you guard just 10k for, you know, very good defensive. And her ability is also awesome. So her ability is Limit Break, Counter Blast 1, and Personal Blast. So you need to ditch one of her copies. Check the top 5 cards, top cards in your deck, and you can select 2 cards in that 5, put it in your hand, and put the rest, and that's 3 cards, to the bottom of the deck in any order. So Monica is a great card to be searched, like Perfect Guard or something you need, and she can be a stacker since you can stack max 9 cards. So yeah, Monica is pretty good, and her second ability is especially Counter Blast 2, and this unit gains 5k. So she's a 16k, boosting with anything would be a magic number towards 11k Vanguard. So she's good. And I play the old style Battle Sister Cookie. Surely Battle Sister Cookie would be a 10k, and if your opponent hitting for 20 or 21, it would be a pain in the ass, because you need to guard for 15 to want to pass, or anything like that. So I would run her as a finisher, because her ability is pretty good, and that is Limit Break, gains 5k, so she's a 15k attacker, and when boosting with anyone, she can hit really high. Like even you boost with cocoa, chocolate, and cream, you hit for 21. So 21 is already a magic number for 11k Vanguard. If you want to hit a magic number, you can You can boost with cream, and cream would be especially boost, so you need to Soul Blast, and that unit gains 5k, so you have an 11k booster that makes Cookie 26, so she's pretty good. And her second ability is Counter Blast 2. If this plays on a Vanguard, you can draw 2 cards and ditch 1 cards. So yeah, Cookie's good. And I only run 1 Parfait because in this deck you don't need Parfait that much, because as I tell you, Monica and Parfait doesn't work well together, because when you get these two guys, you would rather want to ride one another in different situation, because Monica is the main thing that you want to ride first to get the personal blast, and Parfait is the one that you want to ride and pressure more, because her ability is limit break. When you have 4 more cards in your hand, this card gains 3k, so she's a 14k, similar to Sakuya and Seo Matarasu. So she will be a 14k Vanguard. Boosting with anything would be a magic number. Gemini hitting for 21, 6k hitting for 20. So she's good, and she also gained a new ability, and that's an auto ability. When this card hits a Vanguard, you can draw a card. So this card will be a main pressure for your card, and you don't really need her that much, because surely she is a pressure, but sometimes your opponent knows how to counter her, so maybe they would, like, pass and you draw a card, something like that. You gain more, but the next turn your opponent would kill you instantly, like Link Joker, something like that. And yeah, her second ability is especially Counter Blast 2. If you have less than four cards in your hand, you can draw a card, so making that consistent, and also making a 4 card in hand makes Mocha Milk making stronger. So yeah, she's pretty good. But I only run 1. Next, we move on to grade 2. We're playing 4 Macrons. Macrons is a Burning Horn Dragon for our Bell Sister, and yeah, she got reprinted in EBO 7. So if you guys miss out on the holo EBO 5 Macron, you can use the EBO 7 Macron. But beside on that, Burning Horn Dragon Bell Sister is really important, since she's really high attack, since she's a 12k, boosting with Omelette 19, boosting with Gemini is 20, and so on. So she is pretty good. I don't need to explain the Burning Horn Dragon, because she's already awesome and her art's awesome. We move on to the new cards that release on EBO 7, and that is Bell Sister Kokoita. Kokoita is similar to Libra, but a little bit different. Her ability is especially Counter Blast 1. If this card hits a Vanguard, you can draw, and if that card is a Bell Sister, you need to show it to your opponent. You may take that card to your hand. So, and if it's not, you can put it at the bottom of the deck. So mainly you want to use this card when you're playing Bell Sister, because it gives you more advantage and keep more pressure for your opponent. So you have Parfait and Kokoita. So surely Kokoita is only 9k, boosting with maximum 7k, that would be 16k. But 16k is a magic number for 11k, they still need to guard for 10. So if they really can't guard this, well, we gain 1 card. It doesn't matter if you get a trigger, you draw a trigger, you still gain more hand than your opponent. So yeah, she's already good. So next I play the 210k attacker Bell Sister Tart. Nothing to say here, because most of the time you want to ride her, but I only run 2 of her, because sometimes you don't need to ride her. She's only there for you to ride, or put it in a rear guard, or call it with Waffle. She's a 10k, and if you ride her, you because most of the game you'll see people riding a 9k or luckily of 8k at this meta. But yeah, but when you say about that, they have boosts, so it doesn't matter anymore. So I run Tart because there's no I do not want to play Caramel. Caramel, surely you can recycle Monica, but I don't really I don't rely on Monica ability, even though she gives so +1. So yeah, Tart is for defensive in this deck. So yeah, and I already run one Mocha because Mocha is a situational card. You don't need Mocha that much, and you don't really want to ride her since she's an 8k. You don't want to be bullied by a 9k, a 10k, or 11k Vanguard. If you're great stock, you're even worse. But she's an 11k when you have 4 or more cards in your hand. So you know, she's just a situation card. If she went to damage zone or you guard with her, it doesn't matter. You can live on with her because she's just there to help you. Now we move on to grade 1. We play Bell Sister Omelette. And some people might ask me, why do you play Omelette instead of Gemini? Well, to be basically honest, we're playing a Battle Sister deck, and Battle Sister deck is a sub-clan. So I do not, in every sub-clan that I play, I never play an 8k booster. Except for, let me see, except for Bermuda Prism, I only run 3 Setna. But at this point, Battle Sister doesn't have a good booster, so Omelette is the best booster for Battle Sister right now. And yeah, she's really good. She's really good at early game if you can get her right off the bat. If you get 2 of her right off the bat, you put one in the Vanguard and put in the Rearguard. She attack for 10 because you don't have any soul. Some people think she has the ability of when there's a Battle Sister in the Vanguard, but no. Her ability is when there's no soul. There's no soul in your Vanguard, this card gains 3k. So yeah. Next we run the new Battle Sister Lemonade. Battle Sister Lemonade is really helpful in terms of Tree of the Boss Monster and Kokoita, making this deck doesn't need counterblast at all. When you play Lemonade, she will be the biggest role for your Battle Sister since you want to gain more cards, and 3 of these guys can, 4 of these girls can. So you do want to have leave a space for the unflipped damage. So yeah, she's a very good. I run 2 because that's enough. Because most likely when you ride, you would have only 4 soul, and that's count of the when Waffle goes to the soul. But when if you're wondering why do I run 2? Sometimes you can run 1, that's fine. I run 2 because there's a reason for it. Next I run 2 Cocoa. Cocoa is a good card, a really good card, and I like her art. But I wish I have the triple rare of her in BTO 1. Basically, Cocoa is Seo Matarasu effect, so her ability will be kinda when it's placed on the Vanguard or Rearguard, you can check the top card of your deck, and you can choose between leave it at top or put it at bot if you don't need that card. This is mainly to check your stack when you stack with Monica. So most likely you would use this at late game if you use 3 Monica's Persona Blast. You would see the 9. You would see when you have only 9 cards in your deck. But be careful of sometimes using this card might give you disadvantage by boosting, but that's fine because Battle Sister doesn't have any good boost anyway, so you just dominate them by having a lot of hand, and be sure that not to get cocky about your hand because sometimes the table can turn. The game is depend on luck anyway. Next card, since we're running Cookie, we run two creams because creams are good, and she's the sister of Cookie. So why not? Because she's an 11k booster, and some people might ask, if you run Lemonade, why do you run this? Well, basically, when you use you don't use two Lemonade in one game. You only use one. Most of the time, when I use Lemonade, I only use it when I need to. So if I use Lemonade, we have 4 soul. All right, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Since we're riding Cookie over Monica, so we minus 2 soul. We have 2 soul left. So we have 2 soul. We can boost 26 to Cookie 2 times. But most of the time you don't need to. Except the boosting to 26 is for cross ride. That is situational only. Because most of the time you would see a cross ride when they're playing a reverse deck. Or the old team deck like Dragonic Overlord DN, Kaiser Vermilion, Plantina Ezel. So this card will be a main role for Cookie when you're playing against cross ride. So yeah, she's pretty good. Next I play 4 Null Guards, Battle Sister Chocolate, or Kanzen Guard as you might say in Japanese. Yeah, I don't need to explain this because, well, you know, at this meta we have break rights, limit break, some crazy stuff like, you know, League Joker locking stuff, and some shenanigans like reverse stuff, Grand Blue plus 5k, limit break, Gancelot and Raging Form Dragon, Tetra Drive Dragon, Jesus Christ. Next, the last card of grade 1, that will be Milk, Weather Girl Milk. I only run 1 because I do not want to run more than that, because she's not a Battle Sister, of course. She is the main part when you don't want to use Cream, or when you don't have any soul, because her requirements is to get 4 cards. That's why I run Parfait. When she boosts all of these sisters, you hit magic number. She boosts with Monica, that's 21. Boosts with Cookie, that's 25. Boosts with Parfait, that's 24. So we hit the magic number if we have 4 cards in our hand. So she's just there to help. If she's went to the damage zone or drop zone, or you use it for the perfect guard, that's fine. You can live on with her. That's fine, because we don't really use her that much in the game. That's just situational. And move on to the triggers. I play 6 crit. So we play 3 Gingers and 3 Psychic Bird. Why I run Psychic Bird, even though it's not a perfect guard, but its ability is pretty good, and that is so charged for Lemonade and for Cream. That's why I run her, but you need to decide that is it worth it to destroy a 10k shield for a card and for the boost. If you think it is, you can do it. If not, just keep it in your hand. 6 crit, I think 6 crit is good in Battle Sister. Battle Sister isn't that aggro, but at the same time they are. That's why we have Macron, Parfait, and Kokoita. They're the main pressure of the game, because if you have any crits on there, they will basically guard, because they already want to guard Kokoita and Parfait that much. So if you add critical to Macron, they really want to guard that, since it's gonna hit for a really good number. And next I play 2 stands, because Battle Sister with Stand Trigger it's decent. I'm not gonna lie, Battle Sister with Stand Trigger are really good, and they're not like any clan, since Battle Sister has not so much variety for the trigger. You can play 4 crits for stand, but I only run 2 stands just for, you know, for the lols. But it actually worked, because your opponent doesn't know that you're gonna run the stand, since you have, you know, 2 types of crit, and they will think, oh, you're running 8 crits. But no, we have 2 stands. So if you stand Kokoita, Macaron, Tart, Mocha, they're gonna be in really serious shit. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next I run 4 stand normal with any deck. Some deck plays 3, some deck plays none, because some deck plays like, 12 crit, but that's fine. Draws because, they're cool, and you have that, and that to gain your cards anyway, so draw triggers are good for this deck. And next we have the final card playset, and that is Heal Trigger Bell Sister Shy. I run Shy instead of Lozin Mangus because I do not want to risk about getting Kokoita and especially Counterblast. So I would rather to run Shy more than Lozin Mangus. And the plus side is she's a Loli, so that's always a plus. So what I think of this deck is it's decent for me. It doesn't goes around with the current meta, but they still can win like top tier deck if you play carefully. I tried a lot in this deck in 1 week. I versed with let's see, I versed with Grand Blue Reverse. I versed with what's they call Nubatama. I versed with Shadow Paladin, the Revengers. I versed with Liberators, Bermuda Triangle, and what else? Dark Irregulars, House of Ammon. And I would say I am very pleased with the result of that match. But even though I always lose to Revengers sometimes, and mainly Liberators. But I haven't tried this with League Joker. So at this week I am currently going to participate in the locals tournament because I need to try this deck. So if you guys like this deck profile, please hit likes and subscribe, and there will be more deck profile from our team if you like. Remember that every fighter doesn't have the same playstyle, so you can change all of these cards if you want. That's fine. I don't agree about your why this deck is not consistent for you guys or something like that, but it does consistent to me. I played him a lot, and I really like Battle Sister since they're my first deck when I start playing Vanguard. So yeah, thank you for watching.